What's up? What's up? Little Rays and Joy Squatters and all around awesome people. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you today and be a part of this training event. So thanks very much, Lucy and Megan, for always inviting me to be a part of what you're doing and for putting on such great training. Hey, Wendy, if you can do me a favor, anyone that's jumping on, if you could just hit the invite and get a few more people in, that would be great. Hey, Ali, how you going? Desiree, this is awesome. All right, so for anyone jumping on or catching it on the replay, and if you are catching on the replay, remember to hashtag replay. But for anyone who maybe isn't familiar with me and who I am, hi, I'm your upline. I'm Christy McPherson. You can call me CMAC. For the new guys, I am very renowned for being direct and to the point. I never intend to offend anyone, and if I do offend you, please know that it's without intention. The way that I care about you and the way that I love you is to give you the best perspective I can in the most concise way possible. So in light of that, what we're going to be talking about today in my training is we're going to be talking about the brutal facts. Okay, and I thought I can give you at least 10 brutal facts about your Scentsy business that will give you a greater clarity, give you a better understanding, even if you had an idea of these things before and it's not, startling new information. Sometimes just having it reinforced can really make a significant difference to your business. What better than 10 brutal facts to really put some fire into your day and into your business? So I'll jump straight into it. Thank you for tuning in. All right, number one is you can't run a business on friends and family. Right? It seems really obvious, but for some reason people get really caught up in whether or not their friends and family are supporting them, and sometimes to the point of letting it cripple them when they're not. Okay? The very best advice I can offer you if you don't have friends and family that support you is, first of all, lucky you, because that's going to give you a much stronger start and a much better perspective, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the other thing is don't get bogged down in the support you're not getting. Move forward and move past it and look for the support you can be getting through the new people that you're meeting. And here's the example of what I want to tell you if you don't have a lot of support from friends and family in your business. Okay, if you were to open any other kind of business, so let's use a restaurant for an example, right? So you open a restaurant, and on your opening night, you obviously invite all your friends and family. They come, they have a great meal, they have a wonderful time. They go and tell their friends and family about how marvelous your business was, your restaurant is, and that's fantastic, right? You can't move forward with your successful restaurant if you're inviting those same friends and family to every single lunch and dinner service that you have 5 days a week, 6-7 days a week, however often you're working your metaphorical restaurant. So what happens if you don't have the friends and family to invite to your opening night or your launch party in our circumstance is you are forced to immediately start thinking like a business owner, like a salesperson, like a marketer. You've got to be sourcing these people. So you don't have that point where you run out of friend and family support, so where your friends and family have had enough Thai food to last them a lifetime and they're just not going to come for lunch tomorrow. You are going to immediately get into the zone of running your business like a business. So if you are in the situation where you don't have family support, friend support, or even spousal support, just know that is going to give you an advantage in the long run, because it's going to put you in the mindset of an actual business owner. All right. Brutal fact number 2, social media marketing is hard. Okay, social media marketing is hard. I'm a marketer by trade. Hey Joe, and I love marketing. I love social media. Everything about sales and marketing is totally my heart language, right? But I can tell you faithfully that even if you are an excellent marketer with a fantastic grasp of social media, other channels that you can use for your marketing, how that you tie your marketing into sales and all those things, even if you are spectacularly talented in that area, it is still harder to get significant and sustained success by using social media marketing, right? And that's usually the kind of marketing channel that we're we're familiar with and we're on social media right now. Okay, so I just want you to know that yes, you are totally fine to run an online business and to use social media and social media marketing to your advantage in the sales process, in the sponsoring process, etc. But you need to know that you will be working significantly harder than if you were using face-to-face selling methods, whether it be the home party setting, basket parties, etc. Scentsy is an extremely experiential product, and the more real world, hey Lucy, bye kids, the more real world you can get with it, and the more, they call it belly to belly sales and recruiting, the more real connection you can get, the more powerful your business will be. So I am 100% in support of using social media and social media marketing as a tool, not setting up office in it. And if you do want to set up office in it, understand that you will be working significantly harder than someone who is willing to put themselves out there a little bit more and get into the real world. Okay. Number 3. Oh, sorry. I skipped down one. I'm going to switch it around. Number 3 is we work in sales. This is a startling revelation to some people, believe it or not, and if you don't believe me that we work in sales, let's look at how we get paid. Right, the income producing activities in our business are all volume generated. Volumes are sales, so everything in our business comes back down to sales. I don't want to scare you because people associate sales with being like a bit of a dirty word. Like they think of like a used car salesman, sort of a parody as a metaphor for sales. That is not what sales is about. Sales is about the exchange of, currency basically for value. Okay, so once you put it in that perspective, it makes the sales process a lot easier. So whether it's sales or service, you are presenting something that is in theory valuable to the consumer, and they are exchanging. They're taking the value and they're exchanging currency for that. That is all sales is. And if you want to draw a parody when people get a parallel rather, when people get a little bit worried about, I'm not a salesperson, right? Everything in life is sales. You are selling your kids on the concept of being good. You are selling your partner on the fact that you're the most fantastic husband or wife in the world. You're doing that every single day, and you've been doing that. You've been selling your opinions and selling your thoughts and selling your wishes to your family and your teachers and your parents for your entire life. Okay, so you are a salesperson. You're very good at it, and we just need to drop the stigma around sales in order to embrace the real success that Scentsy can bring you. Because if you are sitting back going, oh, I don't really like being salesy. Yep, I understand you don't like being salesy. You don't want to be like slimy. But if you're hiding behind that and I don't want to really be pushy, or I don't want to really be seen to be selling to people, well, you to quote South Park, you're going to have a bad time, right? So I just want you to just drop that crap and embrace the fact that, yes, I am in sales. If someone says to you, are you trying to sell me Scentsy here? When you're having a conversation, recommending a product, go, yeah, absolutely I am. Because you know what? I really can see how that would help you, And Lucy, it's so interesting you bring that up, and I know that you won't take this personally in regards to this discussion, but the sharing rather than selling thing, that's almost too far dialed back for me. When people are like, oh, I'm just sharing, I'm not selling. Well, if you're getting paid, then you are selling. Because if I was just sharing, I recommend things to people all the time. I will recommend a comedian, a movie, a restaurant, you name it, technology, a blog post, anything that is sharing. Selling, you've got to have the intent of actually having a conversion. All right, so I'm glad that you brought that up, and I know that you won't take it as like a personal vendetta. But yeah, I really think that when people are like, "Oh, you just need to share," I think they're miscommunicating the fact that you don't want to be a creep, in blindly selling to people with no real consideration of their end goal as well as your end goal. Our end goal is to produce more volumes, to recruit more people, to have more parties, etc. Their end goal is to, in the instance of selling, is to get a great product that's going to solve their problems. In the interest of, hosting is to get lots of great products that are going to solve their problems for half price or free. In the interest of joining, we don't want people just to join. Like absolutely not. We want people to join and thrive. We want Scentsy to meet them where they're at and to provide them with fulfillment in whatever it is that they need. Okay. Yeah, no sing-alongs, but I do like that song, Lucy. Okay, so number 4 is, we're up to number 4. Number 4 is build a list. And this is something that is absolutely integral. Any person that says to me, and in fact I was talking to Vic Peasley about this not long ago, she said to me, if I wanted to make X amount more dollars a month in, X amount of time, what would be your number 1 tip that you would give me? And I said my number 1 tip would be build a list. And I know this sounds nuts, but you want to be getting as many people's contact information as you can. You want to be fostering relationships with people, and you want to be continually filling that bucket, right? Because there are people who's, clearly they're mad, but there are people whose interest in Scentsy will wane over time. All right, so they're going out of the bottom of the bucket. They're no longer really interested in purchasing. They're no longer really interested in hosting. They're no longer really interested in the concept of joining, right? And you don't want to be looking at the level of your bucket just going like this. You've got to be continually putting stuff in the top of the bucket in order to survive. Okay, so get really good at asking for people's contact information, and not to go off on too much of a side tangent and really talk your ears off, but would it be okay if is really my main tool in getting people's contact information. Would it be okay if I grabbed your email address? Would it be okay if you popped your phone number in here? And you actually don't even need to give a reason on the end of that. Would it be okay if blah, blah, blah is really enough? But I'll always put it back on a service thing. Would it be okay if I grabbed your mobile number so I can let you know when this product goes on special or something like that? But you don't even need to do that. So build a list. Be continually building a list, and if you're ever stuck as to what you should be doing in your business, you want to be, and I know we're going to talk about income producing later, so I'm really trying to stay away from the topics that we've got to cover, but you really want to be looking at what makes me money, whether or not that's your motivation, what makes me money and what builds my potential to make money. So there's an industry expression, pretty sure it was Robert Kiyosaki, is your network is your net worth. All right, so the more people you know, the more people you have a connection with, the more success you stand to have, right? Number 5, one of my faves. I'm actually not going to swear on this live if I haven't already, but is a concept that is near and dear to my heart, which is if you're not following up, you're effing up. Okay, and I once again, I'm not going to delve into great detail here, but in order for you to execute on great follow-up, you've got to know what happens if you don't, because follow-up is uncomfortable often. And it doesn't matter how many times people say to you, you've got to follow up X amount of times, before they react, and, follow up until they buy or till they die, and blah, blah, blah. We can tell you that all day long, but you've got to know what happens if you don't. If you don't follow up with your customers, then you just wasted the really hard part, the really hard work. So customer acquisition is hard. It's a challenge. You've got to meet the person. You've got to endear yourself to the person. You've got to endear our products to the person or the concept to the person. So you've done the really hard work, and to not follow them up, you will lose them. And I know because I didn't. The acquisition part comes really naturally to me, and the follow-up part is a little bit uncomfortable. So for the first probably 12 to 18 months of my business, I just went through rapid acquisition because that was easy for me. And I wasted a whole slew of resources that I wish I could get back. Okay, so if you're not following up, you're effing up. Number 6, go wide fast. What does this mean? This means you want to be building yourself a nice wide front line. Okay, if you want to change your Scentsy job into a Scentsy career, then you'll be looking at building a team. And go wide fast is really the best advice I can possibly give you in this business, and that means you want to be continually making your front line as wide as possible. Not every person is here to be a world beater, and I can break down the numbers for you, at length. It's something that I've studied over time, in my time in Scentsy, and they almost always fall pretty much around a norm. So we need hobbyists, we need part timers, we need people who are just going all out to really smash this gig. And the only way you're going to get that spread of people is if you are continually recruiting and building a nice wide front line. And like the bucket analogy we were talking about previously, not everyone is here forever. Okay, and not everyone is going to produce consistently in this business, time and time again. So don't take it personally when people come and they don't perform. Don't take it personally when they come in and they leave again. And certainly don't take it personally if they come in and absolutely smash your results, because that is a dream scenario. If you can recruit someone more powerful than yourself, more successful than yourself, that is the holy grail of team building. So never feel that you have lost some of your shine because someone else is shining bright. That is literally the best thing that can happen to you. The other thing that really comes off the go wide fast, right? So you want to go wide fast, but you want to train deep. So when you start building a team, you want to foster as much of a connection as you can without overstepping. So you're not their sponsor, but you want that connection and that understanding to flow down the line. And I've made this mistake in the past at different times where I've just been like, right, well, I don't want to upset the person who is their, even their director or just their sponsor or anything in between. I'm going to... even if they're not handling it in a way that I would like, I'm going to just leave them to it because that's their thing, right? You want to be offering training opportunities as deeply into your downline as you possibly can. Whether they take it up or not is up to them. Okay, but go wide fast and train deep is some of the most powerful business building advice that I can possibly give you. Number 8, stay connected. This is the tipping point for many people. Okay, if you tie your emotions to your results in your Scentsy business, then what will happen is when you are having a downtime, you'll start to feel bad about yourself, and most people will start to withdraw at that point. So they're not interested in checking into team pages. They're not interested in reading what's on the news tab. They're not interested in opening any emails from Scentsy. And that's your death knock. Okay, so if you start making those decisions where you start to withdraw from the connection of Scentsy and from the sort of life force of our teams and our training and etc., that will see you leave, whether you like it or not. So fight that urge. When things get a little bit bad and you get a little bit down, fight that urge to withdraw into yourself. That is the time that you really want to be connecting as strongly as you can. Okay. Number 9, commit to continued growth. Okay. If you think that you know it all in really any field, but if you think that you know it all in Scentsy, that is the day you should leave. Because everything changes constantly. Your team dynamics are changing constantly. The market, as in the people that buy from you and host with you and join with you, that is forever changing. The economy, the flippin' weather. Every day is a new day in Scentsy, and you need to commit to your own continued growth in order to keep riding that wave as much as possible. The times that we have had significant changes from a Scentsy perspective, and we have lost consultants as a result of that, is because they were unwilling to do that little bit more, learn that little bit more, and grow a little bit more to meet the conditions. Okay, so commit to continued growth in your Scentsy business and also personal growth, because we are our own Scentsy business. Okay, this is the last one. Number 10 is stay in your lane, right? The biggest hey Megs, the biggest thing that you can do in order to keep yourself focused and committed and stop yourself from falling into distractions that will ultimately be a business killer is stay in your lane. So what does stay in your lane mean? Keep your eyes on your goal. If drama is going on, which anytime, and I'm sorry, I'm going to take feminism back, like 10 or 15 years, probably 20 years with this, anytime there is a collective group that is largely comprised of women, then we start to have a little bit of drama. I don't know why, but it's the way it goes. What you need to do is you need to understand that as much as you may have compassion and maybe even anger and like feeling towards this stuff that goes on as a result of human beings in group behavior, this isn't just a Scentsy thing, this is just human beings in group behavior. As much as you may want to get involved, it is the worst thing that you can do. Any energy that you are dedicating to someone else's bullcrap is energy that you could be dedicating into yourself or into your business. So stay in your lane. Don't get stressed out about what someone else is doing. Certainly don't get stressed out about things that you have no control over. So, for example, for the Kiwis, right? If you are, hey Fiona, thank you very much. If you are having a situation where like stuff's getting held up in customs, right? Don't involve yourself in conversations about, oh my gosh, I can't believe how long stuff's being held up in customs, and this one customer said this to me, and blah, 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 and you're commenting on someone else's thread, and you're like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, oh, this is insane. You know, all of that energy is just completely wasted. You're just fueling negativity that impacts you, it impacts your team, it impacts our image as a business. It really can't bring any good. So we have Che Amies, he's amazing, he's our head of shipping. If there is a problem with shipping, not your problem, that is Che's problem, and he's paid to deal with that problem. Okay? And even on an emotional level, an interpersonal level, when people are like, oh, you know, my sponsor doesn't do this, or my director doesn't do that, or blah blah blah. Cool story, bro. I feel for you, but it's not something that I need to involve myself in, okay? Because they chose their sponsor, all right, and it wasn't you. If they're whinging to you about their sponsor, presumably, unless they're whinging about you, but hey, maybe. So just keep your head out of it, and keep moving forward. And I have been guilty of this in the past, just so you know. Like, I'm not coming from this all omnipotent, perfection point here. I have been guilty of having that protective instinct over people who are having a bad time, and also having that reaction of, I don't like people, to use one of Orville's common, phrases. I would see people peeing in our pool, speaking about Scentsy, and I would be like, no, that's not on, we don't do that. And I would try and counteract their negativity with my own positivity. And to be 100% truthful with you now, if you're not in my circus, if you're not my monkeys, I'm not interested. Okay? So if you're having a problem and you want to come to me about it, I'm incredibly interested. If people are having a problem and, whether or not I feel passionately about it, I'm committed to staying in my lane, because I know what happens when you spread your physical resources and your emotional resources away from what's important. And that's never good. Okay, so to wrap up, thank you very much for your time today. Fact number 1, you can't run a business on friends and family. Simply can't. Not a successful and sustained business anyway. Number 2, we work in sales. Who knew? Number 3, social media marketing is hard. All right, it's harder than the alternative. Number 4, build a list. Always be building a list. Number 5, if you're not following up, you're effing up. Simple. So we've got Maven now. A half stupid guinea pig could be following up with their customers effectively, because Maven pretty much does it for you. And number 6, go wide fast. Build a nice broad front line. Number 7, train deep. Offer training opportunities as much down into your team as you possibly can as it starts to build momentum and grow layers. That is not offering an opportunity to people to come and connect with you and learn from you, is not overstepping your mark and overstepping your bounds. Just reading Megan's comments. It's not overstepping your bounds in terms of what your jurisdiction is, so to speak. Okay. Number 8, stay connected. Particularly if you feel like withdrawing, it's extremely important to stay connected. Seek that connection out. Seek that one-to-one. If you're having a hard time and you need to complain about it, and you need to express disappointment and hurt and upset and fear and all those things, I'm extremely receptive to that if you come to me one-to-one. The times that I'm not extremely receptive to that is when you bring that into a public forum. And the difference is that if you bring something into the public forum, you're either seeking validation or attention. Okay? because you're not looking for a solution. If you come to someone individually and you want support and or a solution, then you are infinitely more likely to get it, okay? And a much better response as well. Number 9, commit to continued growth. It's just so important, and we always need to be growing, learning, and developing. So, make that your mission to always be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And number 10, stay in your lane. Okay, so thanks guys once again. Thank you Lucy, thank you Megan, all the little Rays, all the Joy Squatters, and guys new and old. I love talking to you, and if you need anything and you want to reach out and clarify something, then don't be worried about doing that, because I'm an insomniac and I'm up like 22 hours a day, and you'll probably catch me on Messenger. All right, peace out, love you all, see ya, bye.